The grand hall of the imperial palace sparkled with golden light. High Admiral Du-1 stood tall, his deep blue uniform covered in shiny metals. He looked down at the holographic display showing planet Earth, and his lip curled in disgust. "These humans," he said, his voice echoing through the hall, "are nothing but cowards hiding behind their primitive weapons." The 200 alien representatives in the hall nodded in agreement. Most of them had blue or green skin, and they all wore the finest clothes from across the galaxy. Earth's ambassador, Hansu, stood alone in the center of the hall. His simple black suit looked plain next to the colorful alien clothes. His hands were steady, but sweat ran down his back. He had to defend Earth's honor, but the Hall of Imperial Justice was not a friendly place for humans. "High Admiral," Hansu said clearly, "you are wrong about humans. We have fought many wars." "Wars?" Du-1 laughed, and the sound was like ice breaking. "You fight among yourselves with sticks and stones compared to our plasma cannons and star destroyers." He pressed a button, and the hologram changed to show Earth's biggest warship. "Look at this toy boat. It doesn't even have basic shield technology." The alien representatives laughed. Some pointed at the image, whispering to each other and shaking their heads. Hansu felt his face grow hot, but he stood straight. "We may not have your technology," Hansu said, "but humans are brave." "We." Silence. Du-1's voice boomed through the hall. "I have seen enough. Today, I make this official decree. Humans are hereby classified as a non-combat capable species." The words appeared in glowing letters above the hall. Hansu's heart sank. This was worse than he had feared. A non-combat capable classification meant Earth would have no say in military matters. The Empire could do whatever it wanted in Earth's solar system. Furthermore, Du-1 continued with a cold smile, "Earth will pay extra taxes for Imperial protection. Since you cannot defend yourselves, we must do it for you." Hansu opened his mouth to protest, but two guards with plasma rifles stepped forward. The message was clear. The discussion was over. 10,000 light-years away, in a secure underground room in Washington, D.C., Earth's military leaders watched the broadcast end. General Jiho turned off the screen and looked at the others around the table. Their faces were grim but determined. "They think we're cowards," Jiho said quietly. "They think we'll just accept this insult." Colonel Su-Jin, head of Special Operations, pulled out a datapad. "Sir, I have a suggestion. The Empire has never seen our best soldiers in action. They don't know what humans can really do." Jiho leaned forward. "Go on." "We have a unit," Su-Jin said, bringing up a classified file. "They're called the American Nightmare. They've trained for space combat in secret for the past 5 years. The Empire doesn't know they exist." The room grew very quiet. Everyone knew about the American Nightmare unit. They were the best of the best, chosen from every branch of the military. They had technology that was kept hidden from the Empire's spies. "If we deploy them," Jiho said slowly, "there's no going back. The Empire will know we lied about our capabilities." "With respect, sir," Su-Jin replied, "they already insulted us. They called us cowards. I say we show them how wrong they are." Jiho looked around the table. One by one, the other leaders nodded. They had been patient. They had tried to be diplomatic. But the Empire had gone too far. "Very well," Jiho said. He pressed a button on his desk. "Get me Commander Tai Yang. Tell him Operation Nightmare is now active." As the message went out, Jiho looked at the Earth logo on the wall. The Empire thought humans were weak because they didn't have advanced alien technology. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology at all. It was determination. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Commander Tai Yang walked through a hidden military base. His boots made no sound on the metal floor. The base was so secret that even most generals didn't know it existed. He entered a large room where 4 people sat around a metal table. They were the American Nightmare Unit, the best soldiers Earth had ever trained. Each one could do things that seemed impossible. "Time to wake up," Tai Yang said. "The Empire just called us cowards." Su Jin, the team's demolition expert, looked up from her tablet. Her short black hair was neatly cut, and a small scar crossed her left eyebrow. "About time," she said. "I was getting bored blowing up practice targets." Next to her, Da Hyun cleaned his special rifle. He was the team's sniper, and he could hit targets that normal scopes couldn't even see. "The Empire's ships have weak spots," he said quietly. "I've studied them for months." "How long until we deploy?" asked Minho, the team's tech expert. His fingers never stopped moving across his keyboard. He had hacked into Imperial systems so many times that he knew their computers better than they did. The last team member, Hai-Jin, stood up. She was their stealth specialist. She once spent 3 days hiding in an air vent during a training mission, and no one found her. "We'll need new gear for space combat," she said. Tai Yang pressed a button on the wall. A hidden door opened, revealing 5 black spacesuits. They looked simple, but they were more advanced than anything the Empire had seen. "These suits," Tai Yang explained, "can turn invisible for short periods. They have no metal parts, so Imperial scanners can't detect them. And they're tough enough to survive in space for 6 hours." The team gathered around the suits. Su Jin ran her hand over the special fabric. "Nice," she said. "When do we start making the Empire regret their words?" Tai Yang pulled up a hologram map of the galaxy. "Our first mission is here," he said, pointing to a spot near the edge of Imperial space. "They have a supply base that feeds their frontline ships. We're going to destroy it." "Just the 5 of us?" Minho asked, but he was smiling. "Against an Imperial base." "The Empire thinks quantity beats quality," Tai Yang said. "They have thousands of soldiers who all fight the same way. But we're different. We think differently. We fight differently." He showed them more details about the base. "Su Jin, you'll plant charges here and here. Da Hyun, you'll take position on this asteroid. Minho, you'll hack their communications. Hai-Jin, you'll infiltrate their command center. I'll coordinate everything from our stealth ship." The team studied the plans. They had trained together for so long that they could almost read each other's minds. Each person knew exactly what the others would do in any situation. "One more thing," Tai Yang said. He pulled out 5 small chips. "These go in your suits. If the Empire captures you, press this button. The suit will melt away in seconds, leaving no evidence. Remember, officially, we don't exist." They all nodded. They knew the risks. If they were caught, Earth would deny everything. They would face Imperial justice alone. "We leave in 6 hours," Tai Yang said. "Get ready." As the team prepared their gear, Tai Yang watched them with pride. The Empire thought humans were weak because they didn't have fancy technology. But they didn't understand what made humans special. Humans could adapt. They could improvise. And most importantly, they never, ever gave up. In the next room, their ship waited. It was small, but it was completely invisible to Imperial sensors. Soon, the Empire would learn that their biggest mistake wasn't insulting humanity. Their biggest mistake was giving humanity a reason to prove them wrong. The American Nightmare ship floated silently in the darkness of space. Through the front window, Commander Tai Yang watched 3 Imperial patrol ships pass by. They were big and powerful, with heavy guns and thick armor. But they didn't see his small ship hiding among the asteroids. "Target ships spotted," Da Hyun whispered into his radio. He was lying on a nearby asteroid, his special rifle aimed at the lead Imperial ship. The rifle could shoot through shields, something the Empire thought was impossible. "I'm in position," came Hai-Jin's quiet voice. She had already sneaked onto one of the patrol ships by floating behind it when it passed an asteroid. Now she was hiding in its engine room, waiting. Su Jin's voice crackled next. "Charges are set on the Bay asteroid. ready to push it into their path. Their communications are now looped. Minho reported from his station. They're seeing the same empty space over and over on their screens. Tai Yang smiled. Everything was ready. Begin Operation Nightmare, he ordered. Su Jin pressed a button. Small explosions broke the big asteroid into pieces, sending them toward the Imperial ships. The patrol ships saw the rocks coming and turned on their shields. Shields up, Da Hyun said. Taking the shot, his rifle made no sound in space. The bullet passed right through the lead ship's shields and hit its main power core. The ship's lights flickered and went dark. The Imperial crews started to panic. Their strongest shields had failed. While they were confused, Hai-Jin moved through her target ship like a ghost. She reached the engine room and placed small devices on key machinery. The second Imperial ship turned around to help the first one. That's when Minho struck. He sent a fake message that made the ship think its engines were failing. The crew shut them down in a panic. 3, 2, 1. Su Jin counted down. The devices Hai-Jin planted started working. They didn't destroy anything. They just made things stop working. One by one, systems failed across the ship. The third Imperial ship tried to call for help. But thanks to Minho, their messages went nowhere. On their screens, everything looked normal. They didn't know they were now alone. My ship is dark, Hai-Jin reported. She was already leaving, floating back to a nearby asteroid where Da Hyun could pick her up. Within 10 minutes, all 3 Imperial ships floated powerless in space. No one was hurt. Nothing was destroyed. But the mighty Imperial ships were now useless. Send the message, Tai Yang ordered. Minho typed quickly. On each Imperial ship, screens came to life with a simple message. From Earth, with love. The American Nightmare team gathered back on their ship. Through the windows, they could see Imperial rescue ships arriving. The patrol ships would be fixed easily. But that wasn't the point. What do you think they'll make of this? Su Jin asked, cleaning her tools. They'll probably say it was a technical problem, Da Hyun said. The Empire is too proud to admit a cowardly species could beat them. That's fine, Tai Yang said. Let them think that. We're just getting started. Minho looked up from his computer. I downloaded their patrol routes while I was in their systems. I know where every Imperial ship in this sector will be for the next month. Good. Tai Yang pulled up a map. Because our next target is bigger. The Empire has a fuel depot 2 systems over. They think it's completely safe because it's far from any battles. Not safe from us, Hai-Jin said with a quiet smile. The team started planning their next mission. On the Imperial ships behind them, confused officers were trying to explain what happened. Their reports would say it was a meteor shower that caused system failures. But in the back of their minds, they would remember the message. From Earth, with love. And they would start to wonder if maybe, just maybe, they had underestimated these humans. Imperial Commander Sangmin slammed his fist on the table. Reports covered his desk, all telling the same story. In the past week, 6 Imperial bases had lost power. 4 supply ships had gone missing. 2 communication stations had stopped working. This is not a coincidence, he told his officers. His white uniform was perfect, but dark circles showed under his eyes. Someone is attacking us. But how? Asked Captain Yuri. She pointed to the security recordings. Our cameras show nothing. Our sensors detect nothing. It's like we're being haunted by ghosts. Sangmin knew better. After studying the patterns, he had figured out the truth. Not ghosts, he said. Humans. The room went quiet. Everyone remembered how High Admiral Du-1 had called humans cowards. Now, they weren't so sure. I want 3 battleships, Sangmin ordered. We're going hunting. Meanwhile, aboard their stealth ship, the American Nightmare team was planning their next move. Su Jin cleaned her explosive charges while she reported. The Empire is moving more ships to guard their bases, she said. They're finally taking us seriously. Good, Tai Yang replied. The more ships they use to guard bases, the fewer they have to threaten Earth. Minho looked up from his computer screens. They've sent 3 battleships to search for us. Big ones. The commander is named Sangmin. I've heard of him, Da-hyun said, checking his rifle. He's smarter than most Imperial officers. He might be a problem. Hai-jin appeared silently in the doorway. She had been scouting an Imperial base in her stealth suit. The Empire is offering a reward for information about us. They're calling us the Ghost Fleet because they think we have many ships. Tai Yang smiled. Perfect. Let them waste time looking for ships that don't exist. He pulled up a map of the sector. Our next target is here. It's their biggest fuel depot in this sector. I see 3 battleships guarding it, Minho said. Those must be Sangmin's ships, Su-jin noted. He's trying to trap us. Then let's not disappoint him, Tai Yang said. But we'll do this differently. Instead of shutting down one base, we'll hit 3 at once. He explained the plan. They would split into teams. Su-jin and Minho would attack a small supply base. Hai-jin would infiltrate the communication center. Da-hyun and Tai Yang would tackle the fuel depot. Isn't splitting up dangerous? Minho asked. The Empire thinks we're a fleet, Tai Yang explained. When we hit 3 places at once, they'll send ships to each location. Their forces will be spread thin. The team spent 2 days preparing. They checked their gear, studied the targets, and memorized escape routes. Everything had to be perfect. On the Imperial command ship, Sangmin waited patiently. He had positioned his ships carefully, ready for an attack. But as he waited, alarms started blaring. Sir, Yuri shouted, we have attacks at 3 locations. Sangmin rushed to the command center. Red lights flashed on the map, showing simultaneous attacks across the sector. His trap had failed. How many ships are attacking us? He demanded. We don't know, sir, Yuri admitted. Our sensors show nothing. Sangmin stared at the map. He had underestimated these humans. They weren't just brave, they were clever. And now he had to make a difficult choice. Which attack to respond to first? As he hesitated, more red lights appeared on his map. The Ghost Fleet was striking faster than he could respond. And somewhere out there, 5 humans smiled as their plan worked perfectly. High Admiral Du-won's face was red with anger as he watched the latest reports. In the past month, the mysterious Ghost Fleet had attacked 30 Imperial bases. His perfect empire was starting to look weak. Find them. He shouted at his commanders through the holographic display. I don't care how many ships it takes. Find these human pests. In his private office, Commander Sangmin studied the attack patterns again. Something wasn't right. The attacks were too precise, too perfect. A fleet of ships couldn't move so quietly. Captain Yuri, he called. Look at these sensor readings. Yuri looked at the data. During each attack, the sensors showed tiny power spikes, but no ships. Could their stealth technology be that good? She asked. No, Sangmin said slowly. I think we're chasing ghosts because that's what they want. These aren't ship readings at all. They're, his eyes widened. They're spacesuits, advanced ones. Meanwhile, the American Nightmare team was preparing for their boldest mission yet. They were going to infiltrate the Empire's largest military base in the sector. This is crazy, Minho said, checking his hacking equipment. The base has 10,000 soldiers, which means they won't expect 5 people to attack it. Tai Yang replied. He pointed to the base's map. Su-jin, your charges go here, in their shield generators. Su-jin nodded. The explosions won't destroy the generators. They'll just make them stop working for an hour. Da-hyun, you'll be here, Tai Yang continued, pointing to a distant asteroid. When their shields drop, take out their long-range communications. 1 shot, 1 broken antenna, Da-hyun promised, patting his rifle. Hai-jin, you'll slip inside during the confusion. Plant this in their main computer. Tai Yang handed her a small device. "What does it do?" she asked. Min Ho grinned. "It's a surprise for the Empire. Trust me, they'll hate it." The team moved into position. Su Jin floated silently through space, planting her special charges. Da Hyun set up his sniper nest. Hai Jin waited in a maintenance airlock. Min Ho prepared his computers. On the Imperial base, alarms suddenly started blaring. The shield generators sparked and shut down. Soldiers ran to battle stations, expecting to see enemy ships. Instead, all their screens showed the same message: humans aren't cowards. We just fight smarter. The message played over and over. Nothing they did could stop it. In the confusion, Hai Jin slipped through the base like a shadow. She reached the main computer room and plugged in Min Ho's device. Suddenly, every screen on the base started showing videos. Videos of Earth's greatest battles. Videos of humans fighting against impossible odds. Videos of people sacrificing themselves to save others. "Sir," a soldier called to his commander. "These videos, they're spreading to other bases through our network." Commander Sangmin watched the videos from his ship. Now he understood. The humans weren't trying to destroy the Empire. They were trying to teach it a lesson. High Admiral Du-1 was furious. The videos were playing everywhere, even in the Imperial Palace. "Shut it down," he ordered. "Shut everything down." But it was too late. The entire Imperial military had seen the truth about humans. They weren't cowards. They were warriors who fought differently. Back on their ship, the American Nightmare team watched the chaos spread. "Think they got the message?" Su Jin asked. "Oh yes," Min Ho said, showing them his screen. Imperial soldiers across the sector were watching the videos. Some were even sharing them. "The Empire thought they could shame us," Tai Yang said quietly. "Instead, we showed them who we really are." The team started planning their next mission. But now, something had changed. Imperial soldiers weren't just afraid of the Ghost Fleet anymore. They were starting to respect it. Hai Jin crept through the dark hallways of the Imperial Command Center. She had been hiding there for 3 days, moving between air vents and maintenance tunnels. Her stealth suit was running low on power, but she had found something important. In a secret room, she discovered plans for an attack on Earth. The Empire wasn't just trying to control humans. They wanted to enslave them. "Tai Yang," she whispered into her radio, "you need to see this." Miles away, aboard their hidden ship, Commander Tai Yang received the plans Hai Jin sent. His face grew dark as he read them. "Min Ho," he called, "analyze these files." "Su Jin, Da Hyun, get in here." The team gathered around the screen. The Empire's plans showed hundreds of warships, all ready to attack Earth. They would strike in 1 month. "We have to stop this," Su Jin said, her hands tightening into fists. "But how? There are too many ships." "We don't need to stop all of them," Tai Yang said. "Look here." He pointed to a large space station. "This is their main shipyard. All their warships get their final weapons installed here." Da Hyun studied the station's design. "The security will be incredible. Even we can't sneak in there." "Maybe we don't have to sneak," Min Ho said slowly. "I found something interesting in their computer systems. Some Imperial officers don't agree with the attack plans." "What do you mean?" Tai Yang asked. "There's an officer named Jai Yun. She's been watching our attacks. She left hidden messages in the system, trying to contact us." On the Imperial station, Officer Jai Yun sat at her desk, pretending to work. Ever since the humans had shown those videos, she had been thinking hard about her duty. The Empire said humans were cowards, but she had seen the truth. Her computer beeped softly. A message appeared: "Want to help stop a war?" Jai Yun looked around carefully, then typed back, "Yes." Over the next few hours, she shared everything she knew about the station's security. Guard patrols, sensor locations, shield frequencies, everything the human team would need. "The information looks good," Min Ho told the others. "Jai Yun has access to all the critical areas. She can help us get in. It could be a trap, Dahyun warned. We don't have a choice, Tai Yang said. Earth has 1 month. We have to try. They made their plan. Sujin would plant special charges in the weapon storage areas, not to destroy them, but to change them. When the Empire's ships came to get their weapons, they would get broken ones instead. Jia-Yun says she can get us access to the maintenance shafts, Minho reported. We'll have 30 minutes before the next security scan. That's not much time, Sujin said. It's enough, Tai Yang replied. Hai-Jin, stay where you are. Keep watching their command center. The rest of us will hit the shipyard. As they prepared for the mission, Tai Yang thought about how much had changed. They had started by just wanting to prove humans weren't cowards. Now they were trying to stop a war. On the station, Jia-Yun looked at a picture of her family. The Empire had always taught her that they were superior to other species, but watching those human videos had shown her something different. Courage wasn't about having the biggest ships or the strongest weapons. True courage was standing up for what was right, even when you were afraid. She sent one last message to the humans. I'm ready. Let's save both our peoples. Officer Jia-Yun's hands shook as she typed in the security codes. The maintenance door slid open silently. Behind her, 4 shadows slipped through. The American Nightmare team had arrived. 30 minutes until the next scan, she whispered. The weapon storage is 3 levels down. Thank you, Tai Yang said quietly. Minho, stay with Jia-Yun. Watch the security feeds. Everyone else, move out. As the team split up, Jia-Yun showed Minho to a small control room. I'm not the only one who wants to help, she said, bringing up messages on her screen. Look. Minho read quickly. Dozens of Imperial officers and workers had been secretly talking. They had all seen the videos about humans. They had all started to question the Empire's lies. There are more species like yours, Jia-Yun explained. The Empire called them weak or cowardly. Then they attacked them, just like they planned to attack Earth. Meanwhile, Sujin moved through the dark tunnels, planting her special charges on weapon crates. These charges wouldn't explode. They would send out energy pulses that would slowly damage the weapons over time. Dahyun watched through his scope from a hidden spot near the station's dock. Supply ship coming in, he reported. 5 guards on the landing pad. I see them. Hai-Jin's voice came through the radio. She had slipped aboard the station during the last supply delivery. Now she moved like a ghost behind the guards, placing tiny devices on their armor. The devices wouldn't hurt the guards. They would just make their armor stop working for a few minutes. When that happened, other guards would have to help them, causing more confusion. In the control room, Jia-Yun showed Minho more messages. The Centauri wanted peace, but the Empire said they were too weak to negotiate with. The Arcturians tried to trade, but the Empire called them cowards and took their resources. How many species has the Empire done this to? Minho asked. Too many, Jia-Yun said sadly. But now they're all watching what humans do. You've shown them that being different isn't being weak. Sujin's voice crackled over the radio. Charges set. Beginning second phase. Across the station, things started going wrong. Guard armor stopped working. Doors wouldn't open. Communication systems showed strange messages. But nothing was broken. It was all just confused. 15 minutes left. Minho warned. The Empire thinks power means destroying things, Jia-Yun said. But you humans, you show power by not destroying. By being clever. By making them think. Tai Yang's voice came through. Phase 2 complete. Everyone back to the exit point. As the team gathered at the maintenance door, Jia-Yun made a decision. Take me with you, she said. I can help. I know the Empire's plans, their codes, their secrets. Tai Yang looked at her carefully. You'll be called a traitor. No, Jia-Yun said firmly. I'm being loyal to what's right, not what's easy. They left just before the security scan started. When the guards checked the station, they found nothing wrong. Everything looked normal. But in a few weeks, when the warships came to get their weapons, nothing would work properly. On their ship, Jia sent messages to her secret network of allies. Soon, other species would start resisting the Empire in small, clever ways. Not with big battles, but with quiet actions that couldn't be traced. The Empire calls everyone who's different a coward, she told the team. But they're wrong. There are many kinds of courage. You showed us that. Tai Yang nodded. And now we'll show them something else. How powerful people can be when they work together. The American Nightmare team had come to prove humans weren't cowards. Instead, they had started something much bigger. An alliance of all the species the Empire had wronged. High Admiral Du-1 stood in his command center, watching his mighty fleet gather. 500 warships floated in space, ready to attack Earth. But his perfect plan was falling apart. The weapons aren't working properly, a technician reported. Half the ships are reporting problems. Fix them, Du-1 shouted. But it wasn't just weapons. Ships were having engine troubles. Communications kept failing. Nothing worked right. On the American Nightmare ship, the team watched through special cameras. Their plan was working, but they needed one final push to stop the invasion completely. The Empire's ships are scattered across 3 repair stations, Jia said, pointing to a map. They're desperate to fix everything before Du-1 realizes how bad things are. Tai Yang gathered his team. This is it. Our biggest mission yet. We're going to infiltrate Du-1's command ship. The flagship. Su Jin asked. It has the best security in the Empire. Yes, Tai Yang said. Because that's where they keep their most important secret. Jia found it in their files. Jia brought up an image of a strange device. This is the Empire's master control unit. They use it to control all their advanced weapons. Without it, their ships are just metal boxes in space. How do we get to it? Da-hyun asked. We split into 3 teams, Tai Yang explained. Su Jin and Minho will cause distractions at the repair stations. Hai Jin and Jia will infiltrate the security center. Da-hyun and I will go for the control unit. The team spent a day preparing. They checked their gear one last time. They studied the ship's plans that Jia had stolen. They knew this mission had to work. Earth was counting on them. The mission began quietly. Su Jin planted her special charges at the first repair station. When they went off, they didn't explode. They just made all the equipment stop working. At the second station, Minho's computer virus spread through the systems. Suddenly, all the repair robots started moving in circles, unable to fix anything. Du-1 received the reports and grew angry. Send ships to protect the repair stations, he ordered. But that was exactly what the team wanted. As ships left the flagship to help the repair stations, Hai Jin and Jia slipped aboard through a maintenance airlock. We're in, Jia whispered into her radio. She led Hai Jin through secret passages she had learned about from other Imperial officers who had joined their side. They reached the security center. Jia used her codes to get inside. The guards were surprised to see an Imperial officer and didn't react fast enough. Hai Jin moved quickly, using her special training to knock them out without hurting them. Security systems disabled, Hai Jin reported. You're clear to move, Commander. Tai Yang and Da-hyun entered the flagship through different airlocks. They moved carefully through the ship, avoiding patrols. Thanks to Jia friends among the crew, some guards looked the other way as they passed. The control unit is behind this door, Tai Yang said when they reached their target. Da-hyun, watch my back. Inside the room, Tai Yang found the device that controlled the Empire's weapons. He didn't destroy it. Instead, he plugged in a small computer chip that Minho had made. Package delivered, he reported. In the security center, Jia smiled. Activating now. Across space, on every Imperial ship, screens came to life. The Empire's own computers started showing the truth. how they had attacked peaceful species, how they had lied about humans being cowards, how some of their own people had turned against them. What's happening? Du-Won demanded as his own screen filled with proof of his lies. It's over. Jai-Yun's voice came through the ship's speakers. The Empire's time of bullying other species is finished. The American Nightmare team regrouped at their escape point. Behind them, confusion spread through the Imperial fleet. The mighty empire that had called humans cowards was about to learn its final lesson. The great hall of the Imperial Palace was silent. The same room where the Empire had once called humans cowards now held a very different meeting. High Admiral Du-Won stood before the Imperial Council, his perfect uniform now wrinkled from too many sleepless nights. "Explain yourself," the head counselor demanded. "Your invasion fleet is in chaos. Imperial secrets are spreading across the galaxy. How did this happen?" Du-Won's face was pale. "It was humans," he said quietly. "But not a fleet like we thought. Just 5 humans and their Imperial allies." The council members whispered among themselves. On screens around the hall, evidence of the Empire's lies continued to play. Messages from other species arrived every minute, demanding answers. In a hidden room nearby, the American Nightmare team watched through security cameras that Minho had hacked. "Should we go in?" Su Jin asked, checking her gear one last time. "Yes," Tai Yang said. "It's time to finish this." Jai-Yun adjusted her Imperial officer's uniform. "My friends inside say the council is ready to listen. They've seen too much truth to ignore it now." The team walked openly into the Great Hall. No more sneaking, no more shadows. Guards moved to stop them, but Jai-Yun stepped forward. "Let them pass," she said loudly. "The council needs to hear this." The council members stared as 5 humans in black suits walked to the center of the hall. These were the ghosts that had haunted the Empire's ships. The warriors that had never fired a shot but had brought an empire to its knees. "Impossible," Du-Won whispered. "How did you do all this? You're just 5 people." "We did it by being what you thought we weren't," Tai Yang said. His voice carried through the quiet hall. "You called humans cowards because we don't fight like you, because we think differently. But being different isn't being weak. You attacked our ships." Du-Won shouted. "You disabled our weapons." "No," Su Jin stepped forward. "We never destroyed anything. We never killed anyone. We just showed you the truth." "Your own people helped us," Hai Jin added, "because they saw what you couldn't. That true strength isn't about having the biggest guns." Minho held up a data chip. "This contains everything. All the Empire's lies, all the species you've bullied and attacked, and all the Imperial officers who want things to change." The head counselor took the chip. "Why show us this? Why not just destroy us when you had the chance?" "Because that's not what humans do," Da-Hyun said. "We don't want to destroy the Empire. We want to change it." Jai-Yun stepped forward. "Many of us in the Empire want change too. We're tired of calling other species weak just because they're different. We're tired of solving everything with threats and violence." The council members looked at each other. The evidence was clear. Their perfect empire had been brought down not by weapons or battles, but by 5 humans who had shown them a different kind of strength. "The decree calling humans cowards is hereby revoked," the head counselor announced, "and we will begin peace talks with all species the Empire has wronged." As cheers filled the hall, the American Nightmare team smiled. They had done what seemed impossible. They had changed an empire not through force, but through wisdom. "Ready to go home?" Tai Yang asked his team. They nodded. Their mission was complete. They had proven that courage comes in many forms, that sometimes the quietest actions have the loudest impact, that being different isn't being weak. As they walked out of the Imperial Palace, other species representatives approached them, wanting to learn from the humans who had changed everything. The Empire had called humans cowards. Instead, humans had taught the Empire and the galaxy what true courage really means.